They're jerk.
On me.
You drop.
I got Minimap part 2.
Yeah, you're you are out of it. Like, you know they work too. This is the thing though, when you know there's like a heavy lurker on other sides of maps, don't go take a 1v1, right? If you want to go fight this person, you have to take a 2v1. A lot of times you're starting to walk down the map solo. So for example, here, you walk down the map solo and you got punished for it. From here, you walk down the map solo, you got punished for it. So your recognition of how the enemy's playing towards the end of the half is really low. And this is why I don't want you playing 9 games a day. Right? I don't even know what number game this was in your day, but like when you're playing these 9 to 10 games a day, I mean, whatever game this is, right? We're spacing out, right? So this means we still don't have like full concentration for all of our games, right? And we want 5 games of full concentration. That is way better than 9 games of half concentration. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you're enjoying the content, feel free to join my Discord server linked below. This is where you can win a free coaching session for yourself, or you can subscribe and get a bunch of other benefits, like the ability to watch every single coaching session I've ever done. You can get your tracker reviewed live on stream, or you can sit in with me while I break down pro players' gameplay and explain why they do the things that they do. Or maybe you just want to enter sub wars and destroy some of my other subscribers live on stream. Anyways, enough selling out. Have a good one. Fall back, you jump up, and your breacher together.
2 there.
Down.
Flash.
Good calm. No flash comes. Oh, it's delayed. Unlucky. He's just a little slow. Here's something that I always tell duelist players. If you feel like you have a timing to peek, even waiting for the utility, like so if you flash, he doesn't give you the flash, just feel free to peek. Also, with this flash, you can peek wide and it won't actually hit you. Yeah. I don't know if you know, it's like about the terrain. So you could have literally been peeking as he flashed. No, yeah, obviously the Reyna would be able to fight you preemptively, but on top of this, you also have utility that I would look to use. Yeah, you have nade, you have whatever, and you know they're stuck in this little corridor because of what just happened on the minimap, right? You know they're stuck here. It's like you could throw your nade up in the air and just like have it land in the general direction and then peek with it.
I'm trying to bait for your breach.
Yeah, so this is where like, you notice how in round 1 and 2, you were like heavy calming about what you wanted from your teammates? And now rounds 3 and 4, you're just kind of a little bit more quiet and you're like, like, oh, I can like bait for you or like whatever. You're not like setting up the strat. You just got to keep creating those pre-round plans like breach. I need you to stun. I'm looking to fight A main heavy, you know, those sort of things, right? Even when the KO is like, oh, I can knife A main, you're like, okay, right? Those are things that are important.
Stunning, man.
Give me a knife.
Okay, so you notice that these players are starting to play a little bit passive, right? So if you look, right, they're holding for pushes. This is when you have to stop throwing this kind of pre-nade, right? The value of this nade is going to start going down significantly the more you throw it, right? So doing this at the start of the round to keep going is great, but as you continue to throw it, you'll even notice probably from this round that you get 0 damage from the nade because you didn't even hear a jet dash pop. The only thing they had to exchange for your nade was like a stun. So alternatives to this is to sit at like right here and then throw the nade off this wall as you hear them pushing into main, comboed with a breach flash. It's like a little bit, it's like delayed. So think of it like when you're chamber opping, right? How a lot of times on chamber op, you'd always like take this peek, but then after you started like getting shown aggression, you'd do what's called passive opping, where you'd put the TP behind here and you'd play on this like angle like this, right? It's the same thing with your utility. Same concept applies here. So ranked and like even competitive play is all about how often we can build advantages. Now, can you give me some ways that you could like build advantages in this game?
Taking space, farming orbs towards all. Kind of drawing a blank. But...
That's like perfect. Like that's literally it. I was just seeing if you're gonna try to come up with something else. But yeah. So the whole idea is like taking neutral space or farming orbs. Orbs are like later into rounds or current rounds, right? So orbs is like building your economy for the future, where taking space is like building your economy for this round, if that makes sense. Like the current one you're in, you're like giving yourself a higher probability to win the round with space. So here, if you notice, right, I broke down and I looked at your ult orbs, right? So if we look here,
I think breach is one off.
Breach is one off, so we don't need breach to get his orb, funny enough, because we are buying for next, and that's like our objective, right?
Yeah.
Our objective is to buy for next, so we don't need breach to get our ult this round. Do you know why?
Because he just dies and he gets ult.
Yeah, he gets ult no matter what. You get to ult no matter
yeah.
what. Now, obviously, if they give us the opportunity, we take it. But what we want to do is start future-proofing our next round, right? Because the odds of us winning this round are pretty low. So what I would do here is look to heavy fight for either a dish orb or an arcade orb, and use our Roomba aggressively for early information, and then see if they'll just let us take the orb, right? Because if we get this orb, then we're 7 out of 8. Then no matter what, after we die this round, we automatically get our ult, right? We're 8 out of 8, and I like my odds going into a round with a breach ult and a raise ult comparative to just a breach ult, if that makes sense.
Right.
Raze, you should satchel or something.
Yeah.
Viper's 80 and Jet's 50.
Spike plantado.
It doesn't die from main here.
Lá vai cá.
So listen to our pre-round or listen to our comms. Ready?
Viper's 80 and Jet's 50.
Spike plantado. Lá vai cá.
You notice how we said nothing?
I didn't say.
You didn't
Yeah.
say right? Which is exactly the point, right? So as a duelist player, when you're trying to get into sight, you need to be selfish as okay? Breach, do you have stun? Breach, do you have flash? Brim, can you smoke off main for me? Brim, I want you to smoke off this choke. I don't give a you need to be a demanding player when you're a duelist. There's so many duelist players that like don't talk and don't ask for utility and just try to win their 50-50s. No, that's so stupid, right?
Yeah.
Now you can't get mad at your teammates when they don't, but like say, hey Breach, do you have stun? I want you like, hey Breach, if you have stun, can you stun this or like wherever you want him to stun, right? So get rid of the two-part conversation, right? So a lot of times you're like, Breach, can you flash? Don't say Breach, can you flash? Say Breach, flash right here, and then like have him have him flash, right? Like Breach, I need your flash. Breach, if you have stun, can you stun this on my count of 3, right? That sort of thing. Like just demand the utility because it automatically sets up a play. It gets rid of that two-way conversation that a lot of people try to have in ranked, right?
Viper's
that
80
makes sense.
and Jet's 50.
So, yeah. And it's a little bit unlucky that the smoke ends up going away.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit stupid that your Brim smokes like this, but like if you ask for the smokes, like, hey Brim, can you smoke B main? Guaranteed he would have done it. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Lá vai cá.
And then we don't get opt here, and then this retake's winnable because we're double satchelating onto a side front.
On his main.
What if you're 5 and 15 as duels making these demands? I don't give a shit, bro. Bro, here's the secret, okay? Here's the thing. You guys are duelist players, and you have to understand that every round is a brand new round. You could be 5 and 15. I don't give a shit. You get an ASAT round and become 10 and 15, right? This is the thing that a lot of people don't understand. If you go back and watch Ye play consistently, like go watch Ye play. I guarantee you half the VODs he plays, he's going negative, bro. Or not going negative, but going like even. Bro, so many people look at highlights and think that that's like the norm, but Ye will still continue to ask for things.
Yeah, he's bottom frag 5.
Look at chat. See what I'm telling you, bro? You want to know what Ye still does? He still goes out and he still asks for his utility though in these games, right? Oh well, who cares? You're 5 and 10. Who gives a it doesn't matter what your KD is. The point of what I'm trying to say is that you have to do it consistently. Also, econ management mistake. Never, and I mean ever. Look at this. I'm gonna show you. Chat. I'm gonna ask chat because chat always likes to be involved in things. They have like a praise kink or something. I don't know. But what did we do wrong here with our money? Yeah, look at you guys. Yeah, the heavy shield. So the concept of heavy shield on a save round is so troll, right? Because like think about what do you gain from buying heavy shield? Let me ask you that question.
Honestly, on a save, nothing. Well, in general, it just you don't get one tap by a phantom, and then you just have more effective HP. This is what like full armor does for you. It's like more survivability versus the phantom. And even then, it's still like 4 to 5 shots to kill. And, like it's 4 shots in close range of the phantom, so it doesn't really matter, right? Where light armor, on the other hand, is 600 less credits. 600 less credits, and you still have the same amount of survivability to body damage from their typical Vandal. And let's be honest, in ranks that are below like Radiant, like the utility usage isn't even that good, right? Yeah.
And since the utility usage isn't that good, you can just go take your 50-50 and just try to headshot somebody. And in case you don't know, let's say you have 5 save rounds. Let's say you have 5 save rounds and a half, right? We'll even lowball it. We'll just say 4. Let's say you have 4 save rounds and a half, even though it's possible to have 5. And you go full armor all 4 times. That's 2,400 credits. How often do you feel that you're like short on credits by like 300 or like 500, right? It happens a lot.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the amount of times people are short on 500 credits is very frequent. 500 times 24, this would essentially have an effective cost of like 2 extra rifles and full armor, or like full armor on the important rounds, right?
Over.
Yep.
Now, flash.
Bombinho já foi.
Okay, I don't like how close you got to the box here.
Yeah.
This is obviously basic angles, but like I notice you're kind of starting to do it more frequently. It's like you're sitting like close to the box and you're swinging like this, right? I'd rather have you stand back here, and when you ask for this KO flash, like you can ping for me to throw it up behind you, like from here, and have it pop, because you want it to pop like right here, right? In reality, so you can fight these people.
Yeah.
That's where you want it to pop. But you always like have this tendency, and it's just like a bad habit to go close to things and then swing close to them. I don't know if it's a comfort thing with you, but this is like the second time I've seen it happen. Normally I don't like mention it too much, but yeah, you want to get used to abusing angles like this and playing around like farther angles, or like play on this angle and have your KO watch cross, right?
Do a molly.
Raze does their exit.
I have the rotate, yeah.
If you want me to
Can you
open the
molly
doors,
to
let me
door?
know.
I can't see.
Yeah, two there.
Yeah, you fell asleep at the wheel.
I think I got mini-mapped here. Like, I looked at minimap.
Okay, so this is a secret about being on flank, and yes, looking at your minimap is important, but until your teammates take contact, you need to be watching yourself. This happens a lot to people that are holding angles like this. Whatever, right? It's like not good. Like I want you to be like actively like wiggling like this and making sure you're still active, paying attention to your crosshair. Because like if you just sit in this corner, even if this guy peeks you, you're gonna fall asleep. I promise. It happens to everyone, right?
Yeah.
It's attentiveness, right? So I want you to like just strafe like this and wiggle on this like little corner right here. Now obviously there's a timing that can catch you, right? So like what some people do is they do this, right? Like they'll just teabag.
How close were you to Raze? No.
Oh,
Wait,
wait, hold
you
on.
act
What
like
did you
Act
say?
like 2 or whatever, right? Episode 2.
Damn.
It's like lower.
No pre-round strat on the most important
Oh, shit.
round of the second half.
Bombinho já foi.
All good.
Our KO put his toes in my mouth.
We autopiloted there though.
I'm
Okay. So this map is a lot like Bind, in the sense that like 4-1ing typically is just like bad, right? So imagine you're on Bind, here, right? And you go 4-1 like this, 4 short, 1 here. And this one person doesn't have an up, and you guys aren't planning on crunching like this, right?
Yeah.
So that's essentially what's happening on Fracture right now. Is when you compare it to Bind, it's very similar, right? You guys are 4-1, right? So for example, you can go 5 on this side, but when you go 5 on this side, it's a little bit different. Why? Because you can go like this, right? So for
Yeah.
example, on B, you can go 5 towards the side, but just not this side. You go 5 towards this side. Then you can go up tower, and you can go like this. Like, so many people underestimate the 5 arcade strat. I'm not even kidding. In ranked, it's so OP. It's 5 arcade is the equivalent to going 5 sands. Or not 5 sands, but like a sand
Our
split.
KO put his toes.
Oh, earlier I get their jet peeking on it. We can flash through it. If you
We
wanna
can,
go.
yeah, we can breach stun flash through, like breach flash.
Breach stun, flash through. It's a good play, good comms. Yeah, I think a lot of times when you come up with ideas,
Flash through this wall.
Allez.
Goes here.
like what's it called? When you come up with ideas, it's like, this is great. Just be a little bit more assertive about it. Like, hey, I want you to stun this, get this bitch off the angle.
Yeah.
I cannot see him.
Yeah, do you notice how like, okay, this is a problem with like 1-step plans, right? Your only objective here was what? Get jet off angle, right?
Yeah, just get an A man, get the jet off.
Okay, but what happens once we get it, A-mid?
Yeah, see, that's where I blank a lot of the time.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is with mid-rounding is not an easy thing to do, like genuinely, because like there's so many variables that you have to think about. So like you should always have like a base plan going into the round. Like our objective here is to go out sands and do a split through A, because if we're all going 5A mid, we're trolling unless we have a very specific reason for it.
Yeah.
So like when you say your team, hey, let's get this jet off angle, then we're gonna do a sand split, right? That way your Brimstone knows what's going on, your Breach knows what's going on, and then calm who you want to come with you. Breach, I want you to come out sands with me. There you go. Your whole play set up, the entirety of the mid round of the fast hit isn't there. But then if you need to mid round, you can still mid round later when it's like a 3v3, you know? And then it becomes up to intuition.
On top side. Top.
Good comms, good kill.
One is on the rafter. I'm gonna
Low HP. Make a play. You guys need to swing something. Swing right with me.
Yeah.
Look at you cowards.
70.
You need an ego here. I don't give a If you're 12 HP, I don't care how much HP you have. When you're playing duelist, you have to have some form of an ego to an extent, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't care what it is, like what you do here in this situation. You guys are triple stacked. So imagine you were playing chess and your pawns are on a triple file. I don't know if you play chess, but you tripled up your pawns on a file here. That's essentially what you did. You need to break that, and in this game, it's beautiful because all you can do, you can just swing, right? Especially with this jet smoke going down, this is perfect. Brimstone, come right with me.
That's why I swung. The
Yeah.
jet smoke.
Jet's 77.
Like, just say Brimstone, come right with me, and then boom, he comes right. You're low HP. You guys double peek. You might get killed. He gets the trade. Then your breach swings out left, gets another trade, right? And then it's 1v1. But like,
Yeah.
you let your breach take the initiative, which guess what happens? A trade happens, right? Trade happens, whatever. Or KO takes the initiative. I mean, okay, that's cool. But now you guys go off into your own ways, and like, if you would have just taken the initiative, this would have been you for Jet, which is a way better trade.
70.
Yeah, I agree.